Back here, first things first, time for stories to start your morning. NFL owners are expected to approve an increased playoff field for the 2020 season today, expanding to 14 teams. Greg, what are your thoughts?
First things first is sponsored.
I like the expansion. I think, when you play 16 games and you have an opportunity to get in, and we've seen so many teams who have the record or are second in their division and their record is better than another team that potentially will get in, and they are not allowed to get in because of the limitations on teams in. I don't mind it being that we add another team and just go with the one seed that gets the bye in both conferences. I don't mind it at all.
Tell you what, Nick, as a Patriots fan, that first playoff weekend was always like a nice time to relax, put my feet up and watch the Patriots have a bye as we started to think about the Super Bowl. We had 13 byes. We never went to a Super Bowl without having a bye. As a Chiefs fan, I would be very nervous if one of those byes is gone and you guys are trying to create your little mini dynasty that's not going to happen, but I'd be extra nervous.
Wilds, I rarely say this, but you nailed it. People are focused on, to me, the wrong side of this. People are focused on, are there going to be bad teams that make the playoffs? Usually the best team that misses the playoffs was a decent to pretty good team. That's not my concern. My concern is a totally selfish one. From people who are watching right now, which I guess is everyone I'm talking to, as they can see, I'm a fan of the best team in the league. But the best team in the league doesn't always have the best record in their conference. But they almost always have one of the two best records in their conference. A huge part of the Patriots' ability to make an unprecedented 8 consecutive conference championship games is that all 8 years they were the 1 or the 2 seed. So they had a bye. They only had to win 1 game to make the AFC title game. So if you're a fan of the Chiefs or of the Ravens, for example, I think at least temporarily this rule change will be a bummer to you because you expect to be one of the 2 best teams. If you're a fan of a mediocre team like Wilds is, the Patriots, you love it because you have a better chance of getting into the postseason. True.
Shots fired.
All true.
Shots
Straight
fired.
facts. Yeah.
On to some basketball now. Richard
fired?
Jefferson.
Does she think shots fired in Yosemite Sam? Like he's out there shooting his guns?
Let's talk some basketball quickly. Richard Jefferson listed his 4 toughest NBA Finals opponents. In his opinion, number 1, according to him, was the 02 Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. Number 2 was the 2017 Warriors with KD and the Splash Brothers. At number 3, the 03 Spurs, Duncan and Robinson. And number 4 was the 2016 Warriors. What do you think of RJ's list, Nick?
With respect to my friend Richard Jefferson, who was a very good NBA player and has turned into an extraordinary broadcaster, this is the worst list I've ever seen. This is the worst list ever been compiled. Do you know how difficult it is to come up with a 4-item list and to have literally all 4 items in the wrong place? If you randomly place them, the odds of getting all 4 wrong are more than 100 to 1. It's almost statistically impossible to get a list as bad as he got it. The accurate list is as follows. The toughest team Richard Jefferson ever faced in the finals was the 2017 Warriors, arguably the greatest offensive team of all time, and a team that was 15-0 in the NBA playoffs until Game 4 of the NBA Finals, finished 16-1. The second best team he faced in the NBA Finals was the 02 Lakers. Now, they weren't as good as the 01 Lakers, but you still had peak Shaq, near peak Kobe. That was an extraordinary team. The third best team he ever faced was the 16 Warriors. They looked like the best team in league history, but then the Thunder made them wobbly. And the worst team he faced by far was the 03 Spurs. That was the worst Spurs team of any of the 5 championship teams. You had David Robinson, but in name only, it was only 8 points a game that season. So I love you, RJ, but this is an abysmal list. It's an awful list, and you got every part of the list wrong. Wilds?
I mean, I cannot believe I'm saying this. I cannot believe I'm saying this. When I first saw this question, I was like, we're going to do this. I'm like, it's RJ's list. What are you talking about? Nick actually convinced me that RJ is wrong about his own list. Greg, he actually convinced me. I think Nick is right.
No, Nick is not right. Stop.
I'm telling you, it
right
works.
He is Nick right. That is it. He's not right about this list. It's
there
not
we go.
his list. It's Richard Jefferson's list. It's what he experienced. How can you, Nick, tell him what team was better than he faced
Convince me.
in the NBA Finals? You can't. Stop it.
I just did.
You guys
did tell him. He's wrong.
I agree with you, Greg. Nick, I loved Michael J. Fox, Danny Ainge, and Ricky
I
Schroeder.
love it.
My list. You can't tell me my list was wrong. RJ's
we have found a list
See how
worse
that
than
works?
RJ's. Amazingly, RJ's worst list in the world. It lasted 30 seconds because Jenna has somehow come up with a worse list. I can't believe you lived through the 80s and you're like, my top 3 picks, Danny Ainge, Ricky Schroeder, and Michael J. Fox. We
Michael
found
J.
a worse
Fox.
list.
Danny
Just
Ainge
making a
is weird
point.
pick.
All right. We're moving on
weird
to the Nets now, quickly, a little bit. Ryan Windhorst is reporting that Brooklyn plans to use young talent to acquire a third star to pair with KD and Kyrie. Nick, who do you think rounds out the Nets' big three?
All right, so maybe it's Karis LeVert. Maybe it's someone they already have in-house. But if they've got assets to make this move now. LeVert's a very good player. Jared Allen is a good, young, cheap player who, by the way, has been elbowed out of the starting lineup by DeAndre Jordan. And don't forget about Spencer Dinwiddie. So this is a realistic proposition if they want to sacrifice depth and become top-heavy. But if top-heavy means they add Bradley Beal or C.J. McCollum, oh, man, that is a dangerous team. That should be the best offense in basketball. If you have KD, let's hope he's close to full strength, Kyrie doing Kyrie things, plus Bradley Beal or CJ, one of whom I imagine might be available this summer, Wilds, that would be scary for Milwaukee and Toronto and Philly and the up-and-coming, hard scrabble Boston Celtics you root for if you added a third legitimate star to that team, Wilds.
I always just wonder, is Portland ever actually going to move CJ? Like, I just don't, I was talking to my buddy who's a Blazers fan. He's like, this isn't our year, next year. Like, guys, we've been saying this since Clyde Drexler. Like, it's time to break up that team. And I would love to see CJ get on a great team. Sorry, Portland. I'd love to see CJ get on a great team. I'd love to see Bradley Beal get on a great team for, the all-star snub. I thought he was just, a great story. So I'm just happy if this happens. I don't totally believe in GM Kyrie, behind the scenes, but if they want to start moving guys, I'd like to see CJ or Bradley there. Greg?
Yeah, I don't know if CJ is going anywhere. I don't know if CJ even wants to go anywhere. He was back a few years ago talking about how he wanted to do it his way with Dame in Portland and win. So I don't know how hell-bent he is on getting out of Portland. Now, Bradley Beal is an interesting pickup if that were able to happen, because I think Bradley Beal is one of the best two guards in the National Basketball Association. He can shoot lights out. He can get his own shot up. You got KD, you got LeVert. You got to keep LeVert, in my opinion, Nick. He's the better of all their young talent. And obviously, if KD comes back 100% healthy, even if he's not 100% healthy, that's four guys that are very appealing for any NBA coach.
And listen, that's the other point. It's a great point. They got to figure out who their coach is as well. Windhorst, who's the best he's great at this. He also floated Drew Holiday, who maybe he could be on the move.
Yeah.
Jenna, I would be concerned if I'm Brooklyn at adding a 30-year-old Drew Holiday when I think Kyrie Irving's body is a little older than his actual biological age. And so I wouldn't break up this young core to add Holiday, even though I love him as a player and I love his story. But if you can get Beal or you can get CJ, I think you bite the bullet, even if it means you got to move LeVert, Jenna, and you see if you have the only big three there is in the NBA right now.
All right, let's move on to our final topic, a little golf. Haven't talked golf in a while, where Phil Mickelson is working on setting up a live streaming rematch with Tiger Woods. So, Greg, this had us thinking, what is the best one-on-one sports matchup you would want to see?
No brainer. Give me Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Now, it wouldn't eliminate the
Currently?
who's the GOAT. It wouldn't eliminate who's the GOAT, but it would just allow us to see into the psyche of both individuals on a one-on-one level. And I just would want to see it happen.
I think Michael Jordan's probably too old to play LeBron one-on-one. But if there was time machines,
No, I'm
Greg, I'm
talking
100%
Michael Jordan
in
in
with
his
you.
prime. Stop it, Wild.
I know. I actually want to see. I'd like to see King of the Court, LeBron, KD. The other caveat of this is they were talking about maybe Phil and Peyton and Tom Brady and Tiger. That might be a thing. It's like it's a foursome that goes out. So
Ooh.
I'm in on any live sports that we can get.
All right, so we can do what we actually might be able to see. I would love to see a Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, old school quarterback competition. Paint on the ends of the footballs, hit targets, see how far you can throw it. Like, I think that would actually be really fun to see. The two most talented arms. Dan Marino probably has an argument, but in NFL history, as far as contemporary NBA King of the Court, we know who that is. So if we just have to do a one-on-one, Giannis versus Harden after the little war of words that's quieted down, that could be fun. But I'm going to be honest, because I want to end the show on a high note. What I actually want to see, Jenna Wolf, what I want to see is Usain Bolt race animals of increasing difficulty. Like Usain Bolt races a greyhound, then he races a horse, then he races a snow leopard, and we see how high up the charts he can get. Usain Bolt racing animals, that is must-see television when sports are gone right now.
I
That's
did
my
not
answer.
see
That's
coming
a television show in
at
America.
all. We got to go. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Hope you join us. Stay safe. Have a great day, everyone.